Shakti, Shakti, Namaste, and you're letting go. My name is Kirk Kerber. I'm a twin-spirited medicine person. I'm also one of New York City's top-rated verified psychic mediums, spiritual advisor, trauma therapist for PTSD and complex PTSD, as well as PTSD for people that are transitioning as transgendered clients. I've also been reading the cards for over 30 years, and this is video 5. Little foggy, just woke up, but when Spirit wants to talk through you, they don't leave you alone. So, make the video, Kirk. So let's start out. I want you to come into the full presence of now, okay? Your mind, your body, your energy, your strength, your love, and your power all around you in the year of 2022. And you're going to take a deep breath. You're going to center. Okay, so the center is right below the solar plexus. And you're just going to focus your energy on a clearing from the solar plexus and allow waves of love, light, and energy to wash over you. The title of the series is Master Healers, How to Become a Master Healer. And if you're watching this, I would advise you to go back to video 1 and watch them from the beginning. It's basically just me in a frank, raw, unedited discussion about my healing journey and how you can become a master healer and how you can also heal yourself. And the drill here on planet Earth, whether you're a new soul or an old soul or somewhere in the middle, or you just don't know what the hell's going on, we need healing. We need psychic and spiritual freedom and psychic and spiritual liberation. The ultimate goal is something called moksha, which is a Buddhist term. It's Eastern mysticism, and it means complete and total liberation. You can have spontaneous liberation. Depending on how many lives you've lived, you can have complete and total enlightenment, like for no reason at all. So you might want to look up moksha. So what you're looking for is to become a liberated sage, is what they say. So the liberated sage is, there's no energy blocks. You're completely aligned. Your energy is flowing perfectly. Now, we have energy blocks, and then we have traumas that need to be released. And from this lifetime, and it can be from other lifetimes. So I'm a records, Akashic Records reader. I do give readings. My readings are very dense, and they take me about 5 to 7 hours normally to channel. And then I will channel the life reading. I'll look at your soul plan and your soul arc in this lifetime and see where you're doing good, where you're on the beam, and then where you're totally off the beam. And I have that gift, and I use it to alleviate suffering for the benefit of others. So if you get free and you have moksha, you have like complete liberation, or you're a liberated person. A lot of people that are old souls and they have enlightenment, they hide. And I don't blame them, actually. I don't blame them at all. This reality is, it's a reality of violence. It's a reality of attack. And I don't talk a lot about good versus evil, but I believe, there's light, there's intention, and there's choice, and then there's psychic power. Power, in one respect, is to concentrate. If you have a disciplined mind, let me shut this program off. If you have a disciplined mind is really the deal. It's worth a fortune. So that's why we meditate. We meditate to concentrate our energy and to concentrate our power and make sure that it doesn't get scattered. You can get very scattered and you can lose a lot of your power and your energy and your love and your light from trauma, from abuse, from believing the illusion. Some people say this is a dream world and we're dreaming. And then when we die and transition to the next life, that's the reality. That's when we wake up. So you're in dreamland right now with Uncle Kirk. Yes, I am a twin-spirited shaman. I'm a triple Gemini. Talk about a nightmare, right? I can't imagine why I don't have a life partner. I'm a triple Gemini with a Pisces rising. And some of you know my little doggy daughter who recently transitioned and passed. She was also a triple Gemini, but she had a Virgo rising. So when I did her chart and I did the comparison synergy charts, I went to Liz Pressman, who I would highly recommend. She's an astrologer. She's not over the top expensive. And she's fucking great, and she's my astrologer. And so I called Liz, and Liz actually knew Snuggles, also known as Serena. And so I sent Liz both our charts, and I said, what are the odds of this happening, that my dog and I have the first four placements? She was triple Gemini with Venus in Taurus, and I'm triple Gemini with Venus in Taurus. Our rising signs were different. And she said, you couldn't calculate the odds of that happening. And I said, well, what does that mean? And she said, that means she was literally made for you by the angels. She was a gift from angels. That just doesn't happen, that you have the same four placements. She said, this is like a life partner to you. And, yeah. So, okay. So, I would recommend going to Liz to find out what your astrological grid is, because I didn't believe in astrology. It wasn't that I didn't believe. I just would read my sun sign in the newspaper and say, it does fit, it doesn't fit. But I started doing charts for my clients and just doing the basics. Sun, moon, rising, Venus, North Node, Lilith, and just kind of looking at the chart before I would give the reading. And the more I found out about astrology, the more I was like, this is just blowing me away, because the tarot, my gift is the tarot cards, and the tarot cards are, there is numerology involved in tarot cards, but it's really like a gut, clairsentient, clair-knowing type of thing, whereas astrology is, it's mathematical. There's you can't, astrology doesn't lie. When you really start, it's so unbelievably involved, but when you really start studying a chart of a person and then you see where they are, you can see past lives, you can see the last life, and you can see where you're going. And Gotta love that New York coffee. You can see where you're wounded. The Lilith tells you where you're wounded. I believe my Lilith is in Cancer, which is like, that's why I'm a 5-star empath. And my North Node tells me that I've had lifetime after lifetime of trying to heal people and healing people and being a healer. And I don't have any boundaries. And as I've said, empathy without boundaries is destruction. It's suicide. So that's all that. But I would highly recommend Liz Pressman. Just go to the link down. She's not paying me to say this, you know. People are like, how do I find a good psychic? How do I find a good astrologer? Word of mouth. You know, ask somebody, do you know a good psychic? If you're looking for a good psychic reader that gives you a life reading and a tarot reading in one, you found him. He's right here. So let's just start out, and we're going to open up our the psychic portal of love. We're going to ask the divine to come, and this is how it's done. How you go into a trance, how you create a space for the divine. I am basically in a trance all day long. I never get out of the trance because this is what I do professionally. So if a client calls or they text and they're like, hey, Kirk, can you read this? I'm ready to go. Okay, so I'm kind of more in a trance than I'm not. So you have your Nag Champa. This is my favorite incense. It's kind of like everybody knows about Nag Champa. So if you don't, get some Nag Champa. It's just really pleasant. It smells really great. And I have a full jar of anise, which is magic. It's known as a magic spice. And so I put it in here and let that cook over there. And we have our altar. And, I forgot to light a candle. So, excuse me. We'll light a candle as well. So even if you believe or you don't believe that I'm a master healer, I am a master healer, and I've been basically healing people for the last 45 years. I'm 60 years old, and I am really approaching mastery. There's always something to learn, and the master knows there's always something to learn, and that's fine. The master has made all the mistakes. I was a clueless young shaman in many, many lifetimes. And, am I the liberated sage? Well, that's up to you. I mean, so we're going to light the candle. Today we have yellow for the solar plexus and the light of the sun. So I said, Shakti, Shakti, giving you the light. Shakti, Namaste. You're healed, you're healed, you're healed. I want you to look in the mirror after this video, because I can hypnotize you right through the video. I hypnotize with my voice. The sound of my voice is the most important thing in the room. I want you to close your eyes, and you are in the full presence of now. Shakti, Namaste. You are healed. Let the chains fall. I was listening to this Christian gospel music. I hear the chains falling. Yes, I do. Tasha Cobbs Leonard. I hear the chains falling. Yes, I do. I love gospel music. God, I love it so much. And there's a church in Times Square that they just opened up again. And it's basically like black and Latino. Like I go there, I'm the only white person there. I love it. They sing. They have a gospel choir. And then they give a witness. Can I get a witness? and they just they have passion. They have passion, and they have connection, and they have community, which is so important. If you're a witch, a Wicca, it doesn't matter. You're Jewish, and Muslim, like whatever you worship, whatever deity you is in alignment with you, you need the community of others that believe that. It's so important to have community and not be cut off and alone, because that's where you find God. Whatever you want to call God, you find God in that community. We meet God alone in our prayer and our meditation, but you also need to have the community of people that believe in God and worship God or goddess, so important. So I would really, as your spiritual advisor, advise you to go and have that community. Now, I go to that church, and it's a hardcore Christian, Christian fundamentalist, I think you would call them. I'm not sure. And I don't really particularly believe every word, and they quote the Bible, but I just want to be around people that are so passionate about God. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like recharged, and I feel like I have love and God inside of me and around me. And we need to be reminded all the time. It's very easy in the time of COVID and a worldwide pandemic to sit home and watch TV and get paralyzed and further traumatized from the media. Very easy to do. Don't do that to yourself. I'm in recovery 38 years, and so I go to Zoom meetings for recovery. And, if you're a witch, start a Zoom coven witch meeting. Or, you're Wiccan, go to the park in the middle of the night and dance, or whatever it is. Pagan, it doesn't matter, but you need other people like you that are seeking power, truth, love, connection, and light. So now we've started the divine altar. We have the candle. We have the magic and the incense. So now we're going to burn some white sage. Okay. Shakti, Shakti, Namaste. Sign of the Pentacle, which is pure protection around your crown chakra. Okay, right here in the ears, right here in the heart chakra, and the sign of the cross. You can do everything like this, or you can just wave it around. Symbol of infinity, like a magic wand. Shakti, Shakti, Namaste. You're being healed. You're being healed. You're being healed. You are healed and whole. Shakti. So, what are we going to talk about today? So we've laid out our altar. We've created the presence of the divine. We've inviting the presence of divine. Whether you believe that is the divine feminine, the divine masculine. I probably might do 18 minutes. I might do a video on gender, being a triple Gemini, so that's 3 men and 3 women, as well as a Pisces rising. So now you got another couple. So it's basically an orgy over here. But I think the Geminis are the true bisexuals of the astrology, without a doubt. Geminis, they swing loose from the hips, and they're very flirty. And the Pisces are very sensual, and they're usually like bisexuals as well. I'm so I am like have a man and a woman inside of me, very much so. When I do my healing, you know, I don't want to go into gender too much in this one because we're gonna do 20 questions to ask a psychic medium today. But you know, I got wounded a lot, gender wounds. It was specific gender wound. Uh, you're a fag, homosexuality. Are you homosexual? Like the people were like, I was like 7 years old, and they're like, "Are you fucking gay?" And it was a nightmare. It was an unbelievable nightmare, and I really liked women. And I had girlfriends, but I was also attracted to guys, and that's another episode of Kirk TV. But so I was really unbelievably physically, psychically, spiritually wounded in a gender wound with specific gender wounding, and I was suicidal. I mean, I had nobody to talk to. There was no cell phone. There was no YouTube. You were just stuck there with your teachers harassing you, your fellow school people, schoolmates, knocking the shit out of you. Are you a fag? Are you a fucking fag? Like, it was weird. It was like, it was like really looking into the eyes of a devil on that one. And so if you got the gender wound, you know, women get gender wound. Everybody got a gender wound. Everybody. But the segue was divine masculinity and divine femininity. So there is a very unbelievably toxic version of femininity, and there's also toxic masculinity. But there's also divine elements in each of those as well. Divine mother goddess, you know, a loving mother and a loving father. And a lot of us didn't get that. So I think that the trend on social media at the culture wars and being woke is, you know, the divine feminine is everywhere, and we want the divine feminine. We are leaving the age of Pisces, which is all about sex and death and violence and covert shit, and we're entering the age of Aquarius. So you guys have heard the story. We are dawning of the age of Aquarius. You've heard the fifth dimension. So we're entering into a time when people like me will be completely and fully supported. The occult will be completely and totally welcomed and normalized rather than alienated. And so we're talking about the divine feminine, and so they're talking about the toxic masculinity, but it's like anybody that's male is the enemy. Anybody that's straight and heterosexual is the enemy. And these straight guys, my heart goes out to straight guys right now because they don't know what the fuck to do, and they don't really have community. They're told you're supposed to not feel anything, you're supposed to figure everything out on your own, and they're like lost. And we really need to set a precedent that to find out and enhance divine masculinity. There are things about being male and masculine, you know, if you want psychically, like in the tarot, there's divine male archetypes, and I just, it's like anything with a penis right now is up for attack. And I mean, I have gotten it myself on Facebook and social media. It's like, we hate men, and that's not the way. That's not the way. That's actually drawing from a font of toxic femininity. And so, you know, when I say, you know, women need to get their shit together and stop attacking the penis or something to that effect. they need to support men. And most of the men were raised by women that attacked them for being men. You know, most of us were raised by our moms. Our dads were at work. So the primary caregiver was female. And the female, as a mother, you need to teach your son to honor the feminine so the son won't become toxic masculinity. I don't know if that makes sense, but so, you know, it's really the women that teach the men how to treat the women. We'll leave it there. So the discussion really needs to go along those lines. How do we teach our boys to become healthy masculine men? Not teach our boys how to be feminized. I don't believe that. I believe, you know, I mean, I'm gay, and like I said, I'm a triple Gemini, so I'm kind of like the wild card on all of this. But I think my main orientation is gay. You know, when I first got sober and I came out of the closet, I was completely confused. Confused about my gender, confused about, you know, I wanted a partner, and I wanted a wife, maybe, or did I want kids, or what do I fucking want? I was 24, and I had a fiance, and I also had a boyfriend, and we all, like, knew each other, and we all went to Europe together. That's another... That's a whole other story of Kirk TV. So, I liked women, but women also attacked. They attacked me constantly. They attacked my masculinity and invalidated my masculinity. And I would always attract women that were like crazy bitch, off the chain, crazy. And some of it I liked. I mean, my last sex with a woman was I had an affair with a lesbian. And, I mean, you want to talk about off-the-chain sex. It was crazy, screaming, fuck me, sex. If this is getting too colorful, I apologize, and I don't mind if you, like, shut me off. But, anyways, and it was wild. But she was so crazy outside of the bedroom that you couldn't have a relationship with her. And, so then I started coming out as gay, and somebody said, I said, how do you know if you're gay or not? And somebody said, this is very helpful to me, because I know we're all confused. If you don't have sex problems, you're not human. So first of all, just acknowledge, like, everybody has sex problems. You know, if you're like a cis, white, heterosexual, the most favored, quote unquote, you know what I mean? You're still fucked up sexually. They all are. My best friend of over 30 years is a straight white man, and I adore him. We had a bromance. It never got physical, which I didn't want it to. But, and I kind of think he wanted to, like, 20 years ago, like one night in Los Angeles, it was really late, and I had to drive back to Newport, and he was like, just stay here. And he was like, just get in the bed. Take your clothes off and get in the bed. We're going to sleep together. And I was like, uh-oh, this shit could get weird, because, you know, as the gay person, I would be seen as the predator. Like, oh, you're the gay guy that's like the predator on the straight guy. And I got scared. And I would have, you know, I wouldn't have mind having sex with him, see what it was about. I don't know. A lot of times when, like, I've done forbidden things like that, like I've crossed a line with a brother and it started to get sexual, I always regret it. And it never ends well. It really doesn't. I mean, your curiosity is satisfied, but it just doesn't end well. So, he was like, get in the bed. I don't know what he was trying to do, or I'm kind of thinking, I mean, this guy knows my deepest, darkest. I've talked on the phone with him for over 30 years. We both got sober together. He's a complete soulmate twin flame, but we haven't ever physically even gotten like it just. There was another guy that was like we were three musketeers. There was another guy, a third guy in our little group of guys, our guy group, and I would have like almost given anything to connect to him physically and sexually. I mean, he was so unbelievably attractive. He just like his handsome, normal, good looks would take your breath away. So I was attracted to him, but not my other buddy, really physically. But he was like, get in the bed, and I'm like, oh, I'm out of here. And he got really mad. So I don't know, so the straight guy in this equation, he, like, I've had a lot of experience where, oh, you're the fag, you want to fuck me, you want to suck my cock. Like I said, if it's too colorful, you can shut the video off. It's just it's story time. It's usually like the straight guy coming on to the gay guy. And, and so the gay guy is always seen, you're the predator. You're trying to have sex with the gay guy, a straight guy. You want to have sex with all straight guys. And I'm like, no. Some of them, yeah. But no, not all of them. And they're like, so I just got tired of being seen as the predator when straight guys were coming on to me. I really don't believe in 100% gay. And I don't believe in 100% straight. So they say there's a continuum, 100% straight, 100% gay. And most people are like, they kind of go back and forth, or, they're kind of like mostly gay or mostly straight, but in the right circumstances, especially women are a lot more fluid. And once guys like kind of choose that they're gay, they know they're gay, they're born gay, they kind of stick to the gay side, really. Anyway, so that's all that. But, so it's been interesting being a triple Gemini, and there are women that I am attracted to. But, so somebody said, who do you want to wake up with? As a life partner, you wake up in your bed and you have a home together and you look over, and do you want it to be a man or a woman? And I was like, wow, that was like profound. Who do you want to wake up with? I want to wake up with a guy. I want to marry a guy, and I want to, like, I would be very happy. I'm a chef. I would be very happy. This is true confessions. I'd be very happy, like, doing my husband's laundry and being in the kitchen and cooking a meal for him. So when he comes home from the office, he would have some good food, and I would make sure the house was clean. So, yeah, Kirk Kerber, you're perfect husband. You're perfect husband. So, yeah, I want to wake up with a guy. Here's your suit. Like, be the back support, maybe he works on Wall Street. Here's your suit. Here's your shoes. Here's your tie. Go be awesome. I think it would really round me out and ground me a lot more into the material world. So, how do we get on all of that? I don't know. Shakti, Namaste, Shakti. So, gender and sex, I don't understand it, because a lot of these kids are like, you don't understand anything. You know what I mean? They got their own thing going on. I'm non-binary. I don't really know what that means. I have to be completely honest. They're talking about all these things, and I'm just like, look, I'm 60 years old. I came out when I was 24, and I, was very political. And I'm just fucking tired. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I don't know about all this new stuff. LGBTQ and the alphabet goes on and on. I'm just a gay guy that wants to date another gay guy and marry another guy. And I don't even self-identify as gay. I'm a man. I want to marry a man. Let's leave it at that. There's people that are like calling me, asking me for my memoirs, and with good reason. I'm talking to agents right now because they want my life story for Netflix, which is awesome. And I'm been dead 5 times. I've had 5 near-death experiences. I was born a trance medium, and I believe witches are actually born. I really do. I mean, I don't think it's what you do, it's what you are. So go and look in the mirror to your core and ask yourself what you are. You know what I mean? Are you a healer? Yes, I can answer that as a definite. I was a born healer. I was a born medium. But, I tell people, first and foremost, I'm a healer. I'm a healer that happens to be a psychic medium. I'm a healer that happens to read tarot cards. And you don't have to be psychic to read tarot cards. You don't have to be psychic to do astrology. But most astrologers and most tarot readers are indeed psychic, if not psychic mediums and or channelers as well. Shakti, Namaste. So that brings me... Oh, here's my magic wand. I actually do have a magic wand from my friend Kyle, who passed away at 28 of HIV, and there was no cocktail. And I went and visited him in the hospital, and he said, I have one last thing to give you. Kyle was like a soulmate twin flame angel. I'm going to start crying. I loved Kyle so much. He was so funny. And so he said, I have one last thing to give you. And he gave me this wand. Yeah. I mean, he died 20 years ago, but I still miss him. It's like, oh man, it's so much pain. Okay. So, you got to look in the mirror. Witches are born, mediums are born, but that doesn't mean that you can't do witchy things and you can't do psychic medium things. And this lifetime is, setting you up for the next lifetime. This lifetime is setting you up for the next 3 lifetimes. This lifetime was the lifetime you were working toward 3 lifetimes before this. You know what I mean? So just connect the entire strand of your lineage. And most people reincarnate again and again and again with the same people. Oh, let me just get back into my body. So take a deep breath. Listen to the sound of my voice. You're surrounded by love, light, and healing. And we can affirm light is all there is. Love is all there is. So it's just a practice. A disciplined mind is worth a fortune. The mind of the master is a tranquil mind. Disciplined mind at peace. So you're looking for peace, you're looking for liberation, and you're looking to explore the boundaries of power. And in sex and in relationships and in the workplace, we're all trying to find our own personal power and the power to liberate ourselves. I don't know what deity you pray to, but it's really asking and giving yourself healing and liberation. Giving yourself non-judgment, no judgment, is a form of love. So if you don't know what love is, you start with do not judge. And in order to be a 5-star master healer, you can't have any judgment. No judgment. You can't have any judgment. When I get a client in front of me on the Zoom and they tell me what's going on, I get into a completely compassionate mind with no judgment. You have to. So the less judgment you have, the greater the healer you are. If you can literally have no judgment at all, you are a master healer. That would be one thing. So, let's see. 20 questions for a psychic medium. The vids are usually an hour here on this series called The Basics. And I wrote out the 20 most asked questions that I get about being a psychic medium, not specifically a healer. Okay. Number one, do you believe in God? Okay, absolutely do believe in God. You know, there's a lot of like misunderstanding and misinformation that people that are psychics and psychic mediums, people will quote the Bible. You're a necromancer. I don't even know what that means. You're fortune. Stay away from the fortune tellers and the necromancers. You're evil. You know, one time when I was bartending, I had a sober bartending job, and I would read cards. That's where I really learned to read people. I worked in this very high volume, 500 seat. So every hour and a half, 500 people would walk by this bar to get into the place. It was 3 floors, Italian restaurant owned by a family, Italian family, and huge success. People would wait outside in 30-degree weather. And so everybody had to walk by the bar to get into the restaurant. And I saw literally thousands upon thousands. I couldn't even add it up. So it was, you know, it was 3,000 to 4,000 people on a busy day walking by my bar. And I would read the energy constantly while I was tending bar and read people. And so I got into a chat with a woman that was traveling alone. She was obviously a tourist. And I told her I'm a psychic medium. You know, I read the cards. And she started like giving me an exorcism, like immediately.
Here's your reminder. Good morning, Mr. Kerber.
Good morning, Mr. Kerber. Alexa, thank you. So,
my pleasure. Just doing my job.
Just doing my job. Thanks, Alexa. She started like saying, "Do you believe in Jesus? Jesus is the sunlight of this." She started like saying this thing. Jesus Christ is the truth, the light, and the way. Do you believe in Jesus? Like she almost like I thought she was gonna grab my throat. And oh shit. Okay, we have the battery. This is like the talk of all talks, isn't it? We're just here in the witchy circle. Oh. Sorry about that. The computer's about to shut off. Hey, I'm a great shaman. Tech person, not so much. I can't wait until I had my TV show during COVID, before COVID, but so I produced 700 TV shows. 700. That's like 300 hours of content about metaphysics, spirituality, and magic. So it's all online. I did it all free for love for you. I did, to expand your mind, your body, and spirit and help you find your power and liberation. So, you know, she's like giving me this exorcism, like, you're a devil, you're a necromancer. And I'm just like, oh, fuck. So I got that a lot. And along with, you know, of course you're gay, so you're going to die and go to hell. We already know you have no soul. That was fucking brutal, you know, and I stayed away from the church, and I didn't stay away from God because I got sober. And in order to get sober, you have to, you don't have to believe in God. Oh, but you need a higher power. And so the recovery really saved me because they were like, what would your higher power be like? All loving, all knowing. So you can be gay and connected to God. That was vicious. I mean, that really was vicious, that people repeatedly told me that I was evil and that I was going to burn in hell. And so this woman is like, she's quoting the Bible and saying, making me like say this thing. Do you take Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior into your heart and soul and deny all other gods or something? I do moderate a forum on a website called Quora. It's got around 15,000 subscribers, and it's for mediums of every kind. You know, an artist is a medium. A musician is a medium as well. So it's not, you know, I'm trying to educate people on what a medium really is. An actor can be a medium. So I have this forum, and like somebody posted something and said, there's all these quotes in the Bible that says if you draw close to God, you will be given the gifts of prophecy and the gifts of spirit. So as much as these hardcore fundamentalist Jesus people, Christians, will attack and cite the Bible and tell you how evil you are, there's also this entire other host of passages that support being spiritually gifted. So I'm not a Christian hater, even though the Christians hate me. I'm not gonna return it. You know, yeah, high compassion, low tolerance. So this is a boundary, and you can get your version of Jesus fucking off of my face right now and stop attacking me. You know, that's the thing. It's like witches and healers and mediums and astrologers. We're like really gentle people. We're like empaths. We've been trying to heal people lifetime after lifetime, and these people come along and they attack you, and you don't know what to do. Like, whoa. You know what I mean? The thing I didn't say like 15, 20 minutes ago is, you know, so my body is represented as a male, as a man. And, but when...
This is a reminder. Have an awesome day.
Have an awesome day. Thank you, Alexa. I have reminders to tell me to have an awesome day from Alexa. Oh shucks. So when I do my healing work and when I walk through the world and as a channeler and professionally, I channel the Shakti. The Shakti is the divine feminine aspect of God according to Hindu mysticism. There's Shiva, which is the male aspect of God, and then there's Shakti. And so when I'm with a client, even though I'm represented as a male body, I channel all female energy, literally, because it's the most powerful healing energy. The female energy is a healing energy, and so that's what I channel. So, you know, you can be like a woman, like Hillary Clinton, but Hillary Clinton runs masculine male energy. She is all male energy. Even though her body is represented as female, she runs all masculine energy. So I'm just tossing that out there that, you know, there's straight guys that run all female energy, and then there's gay guys that run all masculine energy. And so you just can't assume anything about anybody. But my wish for you personally is that you get everything sorted out inside of you and there's no conflict about who you are, and what you want to be. So I don't think we're going to have time for the 20 questions. We might have to go to the next level, to the next video. So the first one was, do you believe in God? Second most asked question, do you see dead people? All the time. I'm going to wrap up this video. We're just going to answer this question, and then next question we'll have to finish. But so I live in Hell's Kitchen. Oh, and if you Google Hell's Kitchen, my specific building and the street that I'm on, this is the actual truth. I moved in here over 30 years ago. It's a rent-stabilized apartment. It overlooks the park. And if you Google Haunted Hell's Kitchen, as a young, stumbling witch, Wicca, medium, coming to New York with no money, here to claim my stake and make my fame and fortune, I ended up getting an apartment that was haunted and was also on the block that's considered the most haunted block in all of New York City. Hell's Kitchen. So you can Google haunted Hell's Kitchen. And so my apartment is actually a stop on a ghost tour because there was a famous murder. There's a famous murder called the Cape Man Murders right under this window. And it's a famous murder. This kid was wearing a cape and he stabbed another kid with a bayonet. Like he was carrying around like a knife this big, and they got in a fight. I think it was the 40s, maybe, or the 50s. And interestingly enough, on the sidewalk, when it rains, there's still like a stain. It must be blood, and it like does not go away. The stain on the sidewalk never leaves. So I didn't know this when I moved in, that the whole place is fucking haunted. They used to hang people. Yeah, they used to have public hangings a couple blocks down. And so that's a whole other story. But yes, I do see dead people because they're everywhere. So this kid gets stabbed. This is true. You can Google it. This guy gets stabbed and he pounds on the front door of my building. And somebody lets him in, and he goes to the second floor, which is where I live, and he goes to the apartment right there. I'm apartment 5, and the other one is apartment 6. He goes into either apartment 5 or 6. It could have been my apartment, or it could have been 6, but I think it was 6. Because apartment 6 next door never keeps a tenant more than a year. Never. But I felt the ghost, and I connected with him finally when I found all this out. I didn't know this for about 10 years. And then Paul Simon tried to have a musical about the Cape Man. All Google, you can Google it. Googleable. And so I was like, oh, I started seeing articles about the Cape Man and the Cape Man murder. And so I started investigating, and I found a police report. And the police report is so old when they loaded it in online that you can't tell. It says apartment, and then there's a little thing, but you cannot tell if you've ever seen an old typewriter. The 5 and the 6 look really the same almost, the way they are. And if a little bit of the ink is missing, you can't tell. So on the police report, you can't tell whether it says apartment 5 or 6, but there is an actual picture online. You can dig it up. And I've talked about it on Quora and talked about it when I write about ghosts and spirits. But you can see the photo. And the apartments are all built exactly the same. They have an archway in them. And so I don't know if it was my apartment or his, but it was one of these. And so, yes, we have a famous ghost over here. Not to mention that there was a famous murder on 46th and 8th that they made a movie about in an Irish bar. So, yeah, I guess it only makes sense that a medium would attract a space like this and a neighborhood like this full of ghosts. I've done several shows. We need to start wrapping it up. I've done several shows on my TV show about haunted New York. They say a lot of the theaters are haunted, chairs move, and shit like that. And in my bartending job, which was in the theater district, it was haunted as well. The lights would turn on and off. The beer taps would just magically fall forward. We'd tighten them up, fix them, change them, and then another one would just fall forward. Stuff like that. The phone would ring. There wouldn't be anybody there after hours. We were getting ready to leave, and the phone would ring after the owner passed. The phone rang every night for like a couple years, and we would pick it up, and so they would say, "Oh, it's the owner. You know, she's just letting us know she's here." I've heard chairs move, doors slam, stuff like that. So, but people have asked me what's the most haunted city. The most haunted city, it's a toss-up between London, Paris, which is built on like, 500,000 skull heads. You can Google that. Yeah, there's like 500,000 dead skeleton bodies, millions of dead skeleton bodies under Paris. And nobody seems to know how they got there or why they're there. Like millions, hundreds of thousands of dead skeletons. London is most definitely haunted. The American South, from the Civil War, and because of slavery and how they tortured people and shot people and, all of that mess. The South is completely haunted, and it's also cursed. And then you have Los Angeles, which is absolutely haunted in a different way and also cursed beyond belief. It was built on an Indian burial ground, and New York is haunted, but it's not haunted in a weird, vicious way. And I don't believe New York is cursed at all. It's built on the entire rock bottom base of New York is quartz. And if you're a good witch and you know about quartz and quartz crystals, the entire sum total of Manhattan is quartz. So it makes sense, like, that this is the most powerful place on earth. We're sitting on quartz. It's like whatever happens is times 100 because of the quartz. So, but like Los Angeles is, it's vicious. It's cursed, haunted, and there's a viciousness and like all these vicious murders. You can Google the Fatty Arbuckle. Fatty Arbuckle was an actor in the 30s, I think, and he was like making some like $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a week, like this complete, when everybody was starving to death, and they threw these lavish parties with cocaine and champagne and these orgies that went on, and this was actually in San Francisco, though, that the party took place. And this woman, this young starlet, like, people were coming and going. It was an orgy all day long, as much as you can eat, cocaine, pot, everything. And this young starlet ends up dead at this party, and nobody can figure out how she died, what she died of. And this case went on and on and on, the Fatty Arbuckle case. It's really fascinating, but that, Hollywood is completely haunted and cursed, and in a very vicious, predatory way. There's an austerity to Los Angeles, and there's a viciousness, like, it's Hollywood. They prey upon young, beautiful people. And we won't go into the whole, like, are they raping children? Most definitely they are, for whatever reason. It's disgusting. And, it's the unspoken evil of this planet. But, people go there and they just are not prepared for the level of evil, predatory, parasitic evilness in Los Angeles. I'm from there. I grew up in Southern California, but boy, it is like its own animal, and if you don't know what you're dealing with, you're going to get raped and left for dead in LA. So if you're going to LA to be an actor, you better watch the fuck out, because it is serious shit and you will just get knocked on your ass. and you'll just end up like a zombie with no energy. I've seen it. So anyways, you know, Hollywood is brutal. It's fucking brutal. And it's also cursed, yes. Absolutely. So, Shakti, Namaste. So that's going to wrap it up. Our next vid, I guess, we'll keep going. You know, I've been doing new content for the first time in 2 years. I hope you've enjoyed this conversation. I recommend all of my videos. Some of them are really horrible and stupid and bad tech and bad sound levels, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but my intention is pure to assist you in your liberation. So if you want to talk to me more, my website, kirkspiritual.com. I love to get letters. Tell me your psychic, witchy, spiritual, coming out story, so to speak. Doesn't matter how long. Pour your heart out. Send me an email to kirktv@gmail.com. I do personally return every email. And if you'd like to work with me personally, I do have a website. I offer certain services and ratings. And that's it. It's been my pleasure to sit with you and to be with you. And I can feel you here and now, in the past, present, and future. I feel you connecting to me. And I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful to be alive. Take care of yourself in the midst of COVID. Take a media break. Take social media breaks as often as possible. Sleep as much as possible. Be kind and gentle with yourself. The entire planet is in psychic surgery. Hopefully it will be for the better, and it will survive its own dark night of the soul, which it's in. The entire planet is in a dark night of the soul. So... I'd like to thank the spirits and Spirit for waking me up and saying, Kirk, go make a new video. Go make a new video. So that's it. I will see you next time in the Cyber Temple of Love. Shakti, Shakti, Namaste. My name is Kirk Kerber. It's been my pleasure to be your sacred healer in the Cyber Temple of Love, and I will see you next time. Shakti, Namaste. Thank you.